In this session, we will try to uncover operators. In Java. So what is an operator? An operator is a special symbol in Java which is used to perform operations on operands. So what are those symbols? Like plus, minus, dollar, division, semicolon. Let's take one simple example. A plus B. In this example, the symbols we have is plus. Then what is the operation? It's an add. Then what are the operands? A and B. Let's take another example. Like for example, if I have A plus B minus 5 into 2. So here, let's write down symbols we have in this operation. Plus, then we have minus, then we have multiply. And what are the operations? Plus is for addition, then minus is for subtraction, then star is for multiplication. And what are the operands? We have here A, comma B, comma 5, comma 10, 2. So these operators can be categorized into two types. Category 1 based on number of operands, all the operators are divided into three types. Number 1, unary operations or unary operators. Number 2 is binary operators. Number 3 is ternary operators. The other category is category 2. It is based on type of operations. All the operators are divided into the following. So number 1, arithmetic operation, or it's arithmetic operators. Number 2, we have assignment operators. Number 3, we have string concatenation operator. Number 4, we have relational operator. Number 5, we have equality operator. Number 6, we have logical operator. Number 7, we have increment or decrement operator. Number 8, we have conditional operator. Number 9, we have bitwise operator. Number 10, we have special operator. Number 1, arithmetic operators. Let's explore first. If we want to perform basic arithmetic operations on two operands, like plus for addition, minus for subtraction, into for multiplication, then division for division, then percentile for modular division. We will explore what is in one sample program. I will also remove this import, we don't need it. So let's say system dot out dot hinterland of 5 plus 2. And let me do 5 minus 2. Then let me do 5 into 2. Then let me use division operation. Then let me use the percentile modulo operation. So 5 plus 2, it should print as 7 here. 5 minus 2, it should print at 3 here. 5 into 2, it should print at 10 here. 5 divided by 2, it should just print the integer of the division, not 2.5, just 2. Then modular division will print the remainder or remainder. So let's try to execute this program, compile, and execute. So we have 7, 3, 10, 2, 1. This is exactly what we expected. Then, for example, we don't want just the integer of the division. We need the actual value, for example, 2.5 in this case. So how do we do that? So what we can do is we can use five dot zero, then it will give us 2.5. Or we can try 5 divided by 2.0. That will also give us 2.5. Or we can do both 5.0 and 2.0. That will also work. Let's save this and compile and execute. The first one, we got the integer division value, and the rest of them we got the exact floating point, which is 2.5. Now let's look at the second type of operators, which is assignment operators. Equal to is used for assigning values. Equal to is called as assignment operators in Java. There are three types in the assignment operators. First one is simple assignment. The second one is compound assignment. The third one is chained assignment. So let's say, for example, A equal to 10 and B equal to 20 and C equal to A plus B. And then let's say 6 equal to D. A equal to 10 is a valid assignment operation. B equal to 20 is a valid assignment operation. C equal to A plus B is also a valid operation. But 6 is equal to D is not a valid, it's invalid assignment. This is not allowed. So on the left hand side, you should only have variables. On the right hand side, you will have variables as well as values or expressions. So now let's see one simple example. Let's take int a equal to int a, then a equal to 34, and let's try to print a. Which will be 34. Now, let's say I have assigned a equal to 999 and try to print a again. This time I'll get a 999. Execute, compile, then execute. So I have got 34 and 999. So if you do not want the a value to be changed, you can declare it as final and try to execute and see what happens when we try to assign 999. It is variable might already have been assigned. So if it is defined as final, you cannot assign a new value to that variable. Let me paste the output here. Now let's move on to another example program. Let's say I have an int a equal to 10. Then I just want to print an a, which will be 10. And so we'll look at the compound assignment. The first two examples are simple assignments. So for the compound assignment, let's say, for example, I have a is equal to a plus 6. And if I try to print a again, it will be 16. But if I have to use a compound assignment, then I'll say a plus equal to 6, which is essentially means a equal to a plus 6. This is called compound assignment. Let's try to take this example and run this. Compile and then execute. We got 10 and 16. Now let's move on to the third assignment, chained assignment. Let's take an example. For example, we have, say, w equal to 444, and we have let's declare the variables first. W, x, comma, y, comma, z. And say, for example, w is 444 and x is also 444 and y is also 444 and z is also 444. So instead of doing this, what we can do is we can just put w equal to x equal to y equal to and z equal to 444, and we don't need to add these separately, and try to print w x y and z, x y and z, and everything will print 444, and this is called chained assignment. Let me comment this. Java C test.java to compile, and then Java space test to execute. Now let's move on to the third type of operators, which is string concatenation operator. Okay, plus operator is called as overloaded operator in Java because it has more than one task or more than one use. Plus operator perform multiple operations based on what operands it's gonna use. Let's see some examples to get clarity. For example, I have simple line with 10 plus 20. So the result should be 30. So in this case, it's adding two numbers. Let's compile and print the result, 30. So what if I change the integer values to some string like A, B, C, then D, E, F. So now the plus operator will work as a string concatenator, and result will be A, B, C, D, E, F. Let's compile and execute. And for this reason, plus operator is called as overloaded operator in Java because it has two or more than one use. So now let's say we have a combination. So for example, I have int a equal to 10, then int b equal to 20. So for the first time, I will just add a plus b. So my expected output is add these two numbers, which is 30. And the next, what I will do is add a result, like concatenate result equal to plus a plus b. Then my output would look like result equal to 10 and concatenate 20. So it is considering 10 and 20 as strings. But to avoid this issue, we have to use parentheses around the integer value. So whenever we declare something in parentheses, the first thing Java evaluates is inside the parentheses, and this time the result will look like result equal to 30. Let's try to run this program. Java C space test.java to compile, and then let's execute it, and this is how the result looks like. It's exactly as expected. The next type of operators is relational operator. It is used to check the relationship between a variable with variable or a variable with a value or a value with variable or a value with a value. Let's see some examples. So the output of these relational operators is always Boolean, either true or false. And the following are various relational operators in Java. Less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. So if we see some examples, we get clarity what we have uncovered so far. For example, I have 10 less than 20. Will give us true. Then let's say 10 less than or equal to 20, which is also true. Let's say 10 greater than 20, that's going to be false. And 10 greater than or equal to 20, that is also going to be false. Let's try to execute this program. True, true, false, false. Let's see some other example like 10 less than 10, 10 less than or equal to 10, 10 greater than 10, 10 greater than or equal to 10, 10 less than 10, we will get a false. 10 less than or equal to, we will get true. 10 greater than 10 is false. 10 greater than or equal to is gonna be true. Let's compile, execute this. Yeah, we got false, true, false, true. The next operators we have is equality operators. We can apply equality operators to check whether two things are equal or not. We can apply equality operators for all primitive and objects. The output of these equality operators are also Boolean, either true or false. So we have equal to operator, then we have not equal to operator. These are the two types of equality operators we have. Let's see some examples. So for example, if I have 10 equal to and then 10 not equal to, then we have 10 equal to 11, then not equal to 11. 10 equal to is true, not equal to is false, this is false, and this is true. Let's run this program, compile, and execute. We got true, false, false, true. So let's take one more example. Like for example, I'm equating true equal to true, then true equal to false, then false equal to false, and false equal to true. Now let's see, true equal to is true, true equal to false, and false equal to false is true, and then false equal to true is false. See. So the first one is true, second one is false, third one is true, fourth one is false. So we have got as expected. The next operator is increment or decrement operators. Increment operators is used to increase its value by one unit. Decrement operator is used to decrease its value by one unit. For increment, it is plus plus. For decrement, it is minus minus. And there is also another concept called A plus plus. Is post increment. Then if we have plus plus A, then it's a pre-increment. And similarly, if we have A minus minus, then it's post decrement. And if you have minus minus A, then it's a pre-decrement. We'll see some examples how this works. So for example, let's say int x equal to 10 and print line x, then the result will look like 10. So let's say x plus plus, and what will be the result this time if I print x? It should be 11. Let's execute this program. Compile, execute. So we have 10 and 11. Now this time I'll do pre-increment and try to print what happens. It is still the same. Even if it is pre-incremented then printed, then it's still 11. So if you want to see what's the difference between pre-increment and post-increment, let's take another example. Say, for example, a equal to 5. Then I want to do a plus plus. Then I'll be printing 6 here. No, a plus plus, I'll be printing 5 here because the printing operation happens before plus plus because it's a post increment. Let's do the printing again. And this time a has a value 6. Just let's print another empty line so that we differentiate. Int b equal to 5. Then this time I'll do plus plus b, which is pre-increment operation. So this time I'll print 6. Then the second line I'll print b and try to print another empty line. And the second time when we print b, that is also 6. Let's try to run this program. Compile and then execute. So a is equal to 5, then print a plus plus. So first operation is print here, so it will print 5, then increment it, so it will be 6. Then the second line print a, this time a has 6 in it. Then in pre-increment, the operation first it will increment, then do the printing. So that's the reason we see 6. And if we print b again, we will get the 6. And that's the reason we see 5, 6, and then 6, 6. That's the difference between pre and post increment. So now let's look at next operator, which is conditional operator in Java. It is used to check the condition based on the result decision will be taken. So the syntax will look like result equal to parenthesis, condition, and question mark, and then a true block, else false block. This is the syntax for conditional operator. Let's look at one example. Let's say I have int a equal to 6, and then I will do system out print line a personile 2 equal to 0 question mark, then say even number, else odd number, then close the parenthesis. So let's try to run this example. Six is an even number. For example, I've changed it to 5 and rerun the test. I have to compile it. It says odd number. So I'll share some examples to understand this conditional operator. So given number is single digit number or not, whether to check, how to check this. For example, n is greater than -10 and n is less than +10, then single digit number, else no. This is one example. So let's say, for example, max of two numbers. How do we evaluate this? For example, a greater than b, then question mark, and if it is true, then it's a. If it is false, then it's b. This is how we can find the max of two numbers. We'll stop here and Java session 111 and continue in the next.